America stands at a crossroads, a pivotal moment in its history where decisions made today will echo through the corridors of time. The nation is facing a risky new war plan from the Trump administration that's drawing fierce criticism from all corners, both domestically and internationally. The public and political leaders are alarmed, fearing the consequences for both the nation and the world. The air is thick with tension as debates rage on in the halls of power. The stakes are high. Decisions made now could shape the future for generations. Every choice carries weight and the pressure is palpable. But the crisis isn't just about war. America's massive national debt looms large, casting a long shadow over the nation's economic stability. Trump's economic policies, many experts warn, could make the debt spiral even further out of control, threatening to destabilize the economy. Leaders are caught between funding the military and managing the nation's finances, a balance that's proving elusive and fraught with challenges. Tensions have escalated with the sudden arrival of the doomsday plane near Washington, D.C., a chilling symbol of potential catastrophe, a reminder of the stakes at hand. Its presence has fueled speculation. Is the government bracing for a major emergency? The questions linger unanswered in the minds of many. Americans are left uneasy, watching events unfold with growing anxiety. The uncertainty of the future weighs heavily on their minds. This story will dig into the intricate links between economic turmoil, national debt, and the specter of war, unraveling the complexities of the current situation. We'll explore why so many are worried about what comes next, delving into the fears and hopes of a nation on edge. The choices made in the coming days will ripple far beyond U.S. borders, affecting global stability and international relations. Understanding these challenges is crucial to finding a way forward, a path that ensures peace and prosperity for future generations. The nation faces a moment of truth, one that demands clear-eyed leadership and decisive action to navigate the turbulent waters ahead. The world is watching, and the pressure is on. The eyes of history are upon us, and the choices made now will define the legacy of this era. Goldman Sachs experts have sounded the alarm. Trump's economic plan won't stop America's debt from ballooning. They predict debt levels not seen since World War II, a dire warning for the country's financial health. The plan's revenue ideas fall short, while high interest rates make borrowing ever more expensive. The government now spends more on debt interest than on Medicare or even national defense. This trend threatens vital services Americans rely on. The debt is snowballing, and the proposed plan barely slows it down. Without major changes, the nation faces a financial crisis that could last for years. Leaders must act decisively to change course. If they don't, the consequences will be felt by every American. The clock is ticking on America's economic future. The stakes couldn't be higher. Controlling the national debt would require years of fiscal surplus, a goal that demands discipline, sacrifice, and a long-term vision from both policymakers and the public. Achieving a sustained surplus is a rare feat in U.S. history, accomplished only a handful of times, and always under extraordinary circumstances. To get there, leaders must make tough, often unpopular choices, cutting government spending on vital programs or raising taxes on individuals and businesses. These decisions spark heated debates and public protests, as every cut or tax hike affects real people. Political gridlock, with parties deeply divided, makes real solutions elusive. Compromise is rare, and progress is slow. The Congressional Budget Office warns that key Republican proposals could add $2.8 trillion to the debt over the next decade, making the challenge even steeper. At the heart of the debate is a fundamental question. Does America spend too much, or does it tax too little? This question has divided economists and politicians for generations. Meanwhile, rising interest rates threaten to make borrowing even more costly, compounding the debt crisis. As rates climb, the government must spend more just to pay interest, leaving less for everything else. If foreign lenders like China or Japan lose confidence and pull back their investments, the U.S. could face a sudden financial crisis with global repercussions. That would force painful cuts to Social Security, education, and infrastructure, or require steep tax hikes. Inaction risks runaway inflation, higher unemployment, and deep economic instability. The consequences are severe. A debt crisis could upend American life, threatening jobs, savings, and the nation's sense of security. The time for half measures is over. The longer leaders wait, the harder the choices become, and the greater the risk to the nation's future. Only bold, bipartisan action, where leaders put country over party, can avert disaster and restore fiscal health. The nation's future depends on it. Every American has a stake in finding real solutions and demanding accountability from those in power. The warning signs are flashing red. The time to act is now, before the crisis becomes irreversible. The sudden arrival of the E-4B Night Watch, America's doomsday plane near Washington, D.C., has set nerves on edge. This flying command center is built for national emergencies, even nuclear war. Its deployment comes as Middle East tensions spike, fueling speculation about imminent military action. The doomsday plane's presence signals the government is preparing for the worst. Its advanced systems and ability to stay airborne for days make it a powerful symbol of crisis readiness. For many, it's a stark reminder that the threat of conflict is real. The timing couldn't be more unsettling. Is this a warning to adversaries or a sign of plans already in motion? The nation is on high alert, watching for the next move. The doomsday plane doesn't appear without reason. Its shadow looms over a tense and uncertain moment. America is bracing for what comes next. Unusual details like the doomsday plane's special call sign have fueled rumors of looming U.S. military action. Some see it as a show of force, others as a prelude to war. The Middle East is on edge. Israel and Iran have exchanged missile and drone attacks, destabilizing the region. Reports suggest Trump is considering military solutions over diplomacy, raising the stakes dramatically. The administration appears to be preparing for escalation, deepening global uncertainty. Meanwhile, European diplomats are still pushing for talks with Iran. The world waits. Will leaders choose war or diplomacy? The consequences will be global, not just regional. Americans face the prospect of war abroad and economic strain at home. Another conflict would worsen the debt crisis and cost countless lives. The nation stands at a crossroads with both challenges converging. The next decisions will shape America's path for years. The world is holding its breath. In recent days, the world has watched as Israel and Iran exchange attacks, pushing the Middle East closer to the edge of a major conflict. The skies have lit up with missile fire and cities tremble under the threat of escalation. The danger is not limited to these two nations. If the violence spreads, a wider war could erupt, pulling in neighboring countries and even global powers. The consequences would be felt far beyond the region, creating chaos that could ripple across continents. The United States, as Israel's closest ally, now faces a series of difficult decisions. American leaders are under immense pressure to respond, weighing the risks of intervention against the dangers of inaction. Meanwhile, Iran has issued stern warnings, vowing severe consequences if the U.S. becomes directly involved. This standoff raises the specter of a direct military clash between two powerful nations, with unpredictable results. The world holds its breath, knowing that a single miscalculation or misunderstanding could trigger a disaster on a global scale, with consequences that would be impossible to contain. Behind the scenes, military maneuvers and urgent diplomatic talks are unfolding simultaneously. Leaders are scrambling to find a solution, but the outcome remains deeply uncertain. Across the globe, people watch the news with growing anxiety, fully aware that the stakes have never been higher. The possibility of a wider war is on everyone's mind. If conflict erupts, vital oil supplies could be cut off, sending energy prices soaring and destabilizing economies. Millions could be forced to flee their homes, creating a humanitarian crisis on an unprecedented scale. Ordinary people everywhere would feel the shockwaves, at the gas pump, in the grocery store, and in their daily lives. No one would be untouched by the fallout. In this moment of crisis, the world desperately needs calm, strategic leadership. The choices made now will shape the future for generations. The next steps are critical. Will leaders choose the path of peace, or will chaos and violence spiral out of control? The world waits for answers. In our interconnected world, the effects of war travel fast. Borders offer little protection from economic shocks, refugee flows, or the spread of fear and uncertainty. The clock is ticking on a fragile peace. Every moment counts, and the decisions made now will echo for years to come. America faces two crises: a runaway national debt and the threat of war. The debt crisis is a slow-burning threat, undermining the economy and future prosperity. The military crisis is immediate, with the risk of conflict and unpredictable consequences. Leaders must balance urgent security needs with long-term financial stability. Focusing on one crisis risks neglecting the other. War would worsen the debt, a weak economy would undermine defense. The classic dilemma: guns or butter, security or prosperity. Both challenges demand attention and action. The right balance is crucial for America's future. Policymakers must navigate these storms simultaneously. The choices made now will define the nation's path. The stakes have never been higher. Beyond today's crises, America must prepare for future threats, both digital and physical. Even small security steps like online verification remind us of the need for strong defenses. The nation must guard against attacks from abroad and within. Leaders face tough choices. What's easy isn't always what's safe. Proactive, forward-thinking leadership is essential. Protecting the economy, national security, and democracy requires vigilance. Learning from small challenges helps us prepare for bigger ones. A strong nation plans for the unexpected. The future depends on leaders who think beyond the crisis of the moment. Security, stability, and foresight are the keys to lasting safety. America's leaders face tough, unpopular choices to fix the debt and avoid war. Delaying action will only make solutions more painful. Military intervention in the Middle East could spark a global crisis. Relying solely on diplomacy may not be enough. Every decision carries enormous risks and consequences. The coming months will test the nation's resolve and leadership. There are no easy answers, only hard decisions that shape the future. Strong, thoughtful leadership is needed now more than ever. The choices made today will echo for generations. America's future, and the world's, hangs in the balance. The road ahead is hard, but with unity and wisdom, a safer future is possible.